My dear child, in this moment of silence as you listen to these words, know that I am closer than your next breath. I see the weariness etched upon your heart, the weight of concerns that you carry silently, thinking perhaps that no one notices. But I notice. I have counted every tear that has fallen in the darkness of night when you believed yourself alone. Those tears are precious to me, collected in my bottle, each one a testament to your human journey that I cherish deeply. The questions that circle within your mind like restless birds seeking somewhere to land, I hear them all. Your doubts do not offend me. They are the honest wrestlings of a heart that seeks truth. Even now, as shadows of uncertainty linger around you, I want you to understand that these seasons of struggle are not punishment. They are passages, sacred corridors through which you walk, spaces where your faith gains depth and your spirit develops resilience. When you feel most alone, most abandoned, it is then that I am doing my deepest work within you. Like a potter with beloved clay, I shape with purpose, even when my hands feel firm against your life. Every pressure point is measured with perfect love, designed not to break you but to form you into something beautiful beyond your imagining. Remember who you are. Before the mountains rose from nothing, before the stars were scattered across the heavens like diamonds upon velvet, I dreamed of you. Your name is written not just in my book, but upon the palm of my hand. You are no accident, no cosmic afterthought. The very features that make you uniquely yourself, the curve of your smile, the sound of your laughter, the particular way your mind connects thoughts, these were my delight to create. Even in your mother's womb, I knit you together with intentional care, weaving your being with threads of purpose that extend far beyond what your eyes can yet see. When others have rejected you, labeled you, or tried to define your worth through their limited vision, they spoke from ignorance. They do not know what I know, that within you dwells a glory waiting to be fully revealed. Their words may have cut deeply, leaving scars that still ache when touched. But those scars do not define you. I define you, and I have called you chosen, royal, beloved. The opinions that have wounded you are but whispers compared to my thundering declaration over your life. You are mine, and I am well pleased with the one I have made you to be. My love for you has never depended on your performance. It does not rise when you succeed nor diminish when you fail. Before you accomplished anything noteworthy, before you made your gravest mistake, my love stood complete and unwavering. When you have wandered far from my paths, chasing hollow promises and temporary comforts, my heart has followed you every step of the way, not with condemnation, but with compassionate pursuit. Like a shepherd who knows the dangerous cliffs and hidden predators of the wilderness, I have watched over you even when you did not acknowledge my presence. The shame that sometimes wraps itself around your heart like a heavy cloak, that does not come from me. I am not the author of shame. I am the remover of it. When you have fallen, my hand has always been extended not to strike, but to lift you back to your feet. The regrets that haunt quiet moments, the memories that make you wince with embarrassment or sorrow, bring them to me. In the ocean of my forgiveness, they dissolve like salt in water, remembered no more. I do not keep a ledger of your wrongs. When forgiveness is received, the slate is wiped completely clean. The storms that have battered your life with unexpected fury, I have not slept through them. When winds of circumstance have howled around you and waves of trouble have crashed relentlessly upon your shores, I have been there, sometimes calming the storm with a word, other times calming my child in the midst of the storm. Not every tempest is immediately stilled, for some are teachers that build necessary strength. As the eagle stirs its nest to prompt its young to fly, sometimes I allow winds of adversity to build muscles of faith that would otherwise remain weak and untested. Look at the mountains rising in the distance, immovable, ancient, steadfast. Even they are youngsters compared to my faithfulness toward you. When promises made by others have shattered like thin glass, mine remain unbroken. When human love has proved fickle or conditional, mine has remained the one true north of your existence, constant, unchanging, eternal. Before your birth, and long after your earthly journey ends, my love encircles your being completely. Nothing, no height of achievement, no depth of failure, no power of darkness, no uncertain future. Nothing can separate you from this love that defies full understanding. The burdens you carry were never meant to be shouldered alone. Why do you insist on bearing weights I have offered to carry? Come to me when life presses hard against your spirit. Lay down the heavy loads of anxiety. the nagging fears about tomorrow, the regrets about yesterday that rob today of its potential joy. My shoulders are strong enough for every concern that weighs upon your heart. Exchange your exhaustion for my renewal, your limited perspective for my eternal vision, your human striving for my divine enabling. The rest I offer is not mere physical refreshment, but soul-deep restoration that reaches the most depleted places within you. When you walk through valleys darkened by death's shadow, I walk beside you, my rod and staff providing both guidance and protection. The enemies that gather against you, whether visible adversaries or invisible forces of despair, doubt, and destruction, they must contend with me before reaching you. I am your shield, your fortress, your strong tower in times of trouble. The spiritual battles that wage around you are more real than what your physical eyes perceive. But take heart, I have overcome every power that sets itself against my children. Greater is my spirit within you than any force that opposes you in this world. I have placed you exactly where you are for reasons that sometimes extend beyond your understanding. The neighborhood where you live, the family into which you were born, the talents with which you've been equipped, the limitations that frustrate your plans, none of these are random coincidences. Even your pain has purpose when surrendered to me. The very experiences that have wounded you most deeply often become, in my redemptive hands, the channels through which my greatest healing flows to others. Your story, with all its chapters of triumph and tragedy, is being woven into a larger tapestry whose full pattern you cannot yet see. The desires of your heart that remain unfulfilled, the prayers that seem to echo unanswered from empty skies, I have heard each one. Sometimes my not yet feels to you like never, but my timing unfolds with perfect precision. I withhold no good thing from those who walk in my ways. What appears as divine denial is often divine delay for purposes your limited perspective cannot grasp. Trust my heart when you cannot trace my hand. The dreams planted within you that align with my purposes will bear fruit in their appointed season, though the waiting may test your endurance. When confusion clouds your path forward and options before you seem equally obscured, be still and listen for my guiding voice. I speak in ways tailored perfectly to the one who has learned to recognize my presence, sometimes through my written word that suddenly illuminates with fresh relevance to your situation, sometimes through wise counsel from those who know me well, sometimes through that quiet inner knowing that grows stronger as you walk with me. Choices made in alignment with my character always lead to your ultimate good, even when immediate circumstances suggest otherwise. The work of your hands matters deeply to me. Whether you build skyscrapers or cradle infants, whether you lead thousands or serve quietly unnoticed, labor done with excellence honors me. I have dignified human work from creation's beginning. The mundane moments of your daily responsibilities are sacred spaces where character is formed and my presence can be experienced. Reject the artificial separation between spiritual activities and ordinary tasks. In my kingdom economy, a cup of water given with love carries eternal significance. The relationships that surround you require wisdom beyond your natural capacity. Family bonds stretched thin by misunderstanding, friendships complicated by unspoken expectations, community connections frayed by differences. I see the intricate web of human hearts in which yours is entangled. Love as I have loved you, with patient endurance, with truthful kindness, with boundaries that protect dignity, with forgiveness that doesn't keep score. In the laboratory of daily interaction, my love is both demonstrated and developed within you. Guard your heart with vigilant care, for it determines the course of your life. The thoughts you entertain eventually become beliefs. Beliefs become actions. Actions become habits, and habits shape destiny. What you repeatedly focus upon gradually transforms you, either drawing you closer to my likeness or pulling you toward lesser identities. Choose wisely what occupies your mental landscape. Replace anxious imagining with thankful remembering. Counter critical judgment with compassionate understanding. Substitute fearful forecasting with faithful presence in the only moment you can actually influence, this one. The possessions that surround you, hold them with open hands. When abundance flows, remember its source and purpose. I give not merely for your comfort, but for your capacity to comfort others. The resources entrusted to your management are tools for kingdom advancement, not merely trophies of personal achievement. Find your security not in what can be lost, wealth, health, position, or human approval, but in relationship with me, the one constant that remains when all else proves temporary. True prosperity begins with poverty of spirit that recognizes complete dependence on my provision. When others wound you deeply, the natural response of your heart is self-protection through resentment or revenge. But unforgiveness is a poison you drink yourself while hoping to hurt another. I ask you to release those who have injured you, not because they deserve pardon, but because you deserve peace. Holding grudges chains you to your past. Forgiveness sets you free to embrace your future. This release rarely happens in a single moment of emotion. More often it requires daily decisions to leave justice in my capable hands and proceed unburdened toward healing. The church, my family on earth, will sometimes disappoint you with its imperfections. Remember that I work through flawed people in ongoing transformation, not finished saints who have arrived at perfection. When you are tempted to withdraw from community because of hypocrisy or hurt, consider what is lost in isolation. It is together with all my people that you experience the fullness of my nature, dimensions of my character, revealed through diverse gifts and perspectives. Extend to others the same grace you hope to receive, knowing that your own understanding remains partial and in process. In a culture obsessed with noise and distraction, create space for quiet reflection where you can hear my whispered guidance. The constant barrage of information, entertainment, and urgency slowly numbs spiritual sensitivity, if never silenced. Like Samuel of old, cultivate a heart that says, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening," rather than rushing always to speak yourself. The deepest wisdom rarely shouts. It waits to be sought in contemplative stillness. Make appointment with silence a regular practice, creating margins where your soul can breathe and my spirit can speak. When witnessing the apparent prosperity of those who mock goodness and exploit others, resist the temptation toward bitter envy or doubt in my justice. The temporary success of wrongdoing is just that, temporary. Though my full reckoning may tarry beyond your mortal timeline, be assured that every action eventually bears its appropriate fruit. Rather than focusing on the seeming advantages of moral compromise, fix your attention on cultivating internal wealth that survives every economic downturn and outlasts this brief earthly sojourn. Take joy in small mercies that surround you daily, the glory of sunrise announcing new beginnings, the comfort of friendship that understands without explanation, the pleasure of satisfying work accomplished with excellence, the delight of beauty that awakens wonder. These are not trivial consolations, but essential nourishment for the soul. Gratitude transforms common days into thanksgivings, routine jobs into joy, and ordinary opportunities into blessings. Train your eyes to notice abundant evidence of my goodness, woven throughout even challenging circumstances. The suffering that marks this broken world troubles your heart, as it should. Compassion is appropriate response to pain witnessed in others. But beware the paralysis of being so overwhelmed by global tragedy that you miss opportunities for meaningful action within your reach. You cannot solve every problem, feed every hungry child, or heal every wounded heart, but neither are you powerless. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Small acts of justice and mercy accumulate into significant change when my people respond to individual callings rather than succumbing to collective despair. Your physical body deserves respectful stewardship as my temple. Neither worship it as ultimate identity, nor neglect it as irrelevant to spiritual vitality. The integration of physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual dimensions reflects my holistic concern for your well-being. Honor natural limitations of rest your body requires. Ignoring these boundaries ultimately diminishes effective service. Care for this temporary dwelling without obsession, remembering that while outer nature wastes away, inner nature is being renewed day by day for those who walk with me. The technology that increasingly shapes your world brings both opportunity and challenge to spiritual formation. Use these tools intentionally for connection, learning, and kingdom advancement without becoming enslaved to their constant demands. Notice when virtual relationships begin replacing embodied community, or when digital distraction erodes capacity for sustained attention to my presence. The same innovations that can spread my message globally can incrementally displace me from the center of your devotion, if not approached with mindful discernment. In seasons of waiting when prayers seem delayed and progress appears stalled, remember that apparent inactivity may disguise my most important interior work. Before the seed visibly sprouts, essential development occurs underground. Similarly, character formation often happens most profoundly during fallow periods that feel unproductive by worldly measures. Trust that I'm never wasting your time. Patient endurance produces qualities that hurried achievement cannot develop. The waiting itself is not empty space, but fertile soil where deeper roots are established. When doubt assaults your confidence in my reality or goodness, do not panic as though faith requires absence of questions. Honest doubt often precedes deeper belief. Not intellectual certainty about every mystery, but tested trust that has faced difficult questions without retreating into either denial or despair. Many heroes of faith experience profound moments of uncertainty before breakthrough understanding. Bring your doubts directly to me rather than letting them drive distance between us. I am secure enough to handle your hardest questions and loving enough to walk with you through seasons of searching. Your words carry creative power, similar to my own speaking, that brought worlds into being. Though human speech lacks divine omnipotence, it nonetheless shapes reality around you, building up or tearing down, blessing or cursing, extending life or delivering death. Monitor carefully what passes through your lips and what you plant in others' hearts through careless communication. Let truthfulness and kindness be twin guardians of every conversation, remembering that speech which devalues any person made in my image wounds me as well. Your tongue can minister healing to broken spirits when yielded to my direction. The pace of modern life often drives you faster than bodies and souls were designed to travel. Constant hurry gradually erodes spiritual, physical, and relational health. The command to remember Sabbath rest was never arbitrary restriction, but loving protection for your well-being. Regular rhythms of disengagement from productivity are not luxurious indulgence but necessary recalibration. When you resist this pattern, believing ceaseless activity demonstrates greater dedication, you ironically diminish capacity for sustainable service. Learn the sacred art of strategic pausing that ultimately enables greater effectiveness. Look at the birds of the air. They neither plant fields nor gather harvests, yet I feed them daily. Consider wildflowers adorning mountainsides. They neither labor nor spin cloth, yet I array them in beauty surpassing royal garments. How much more will I care for you who bear my image and hold my heart? When anxiety about provision grips your thoughts, remember my faithful track record throughout history. I split seas, rained bread from heaven, multiplied loaves, and transformed water to wine. My resources are never depleted, and my commitment to meet your needs remains undiminished. The scars you bear, whether visible on skin or hidden in psyche, are not shameful disfigurements, but sacred reminders of both human fragility and divine healing. I myself chose to retain scars after resurrection, displaying them as evidence of love's ultimate sacrifice. Your wounds, surrendered to my redemptive touch, become unique channels through which compassion flows to others, walking similar painful paths. What the enemy intended for your destruction becomes, in my kingdom's upside-down economy, powerful testimony of restoration that darkness could not overcome. In moments when motivation wanes and spiritual disciplines feel dry, remember that mature love transcends fleeting emotion. Just as committed marriage partners continue caring acts during seasons of diminished feeling, continue faithful practices when spiritual fervor temporarily subsides. Read my word not merely for emotional lift, but formational reshaping. Pray not only when spontaneous desire prompts, but when covenant relationship calls. Serve not exclusively from overflow of passion, but from steadfast character being forged through consistent choice. Feelings eventually realign with actions rooted in faithful commitment. The spiritual hunger you sometimes experience, that restless dissatisfaction with surface-level existence, is not accidental discomfort to be medicated away. It is internal compass pointing toward deeper reality for which you were created. Unlike physical appetite that can be temporarily silenced with junk food, soul hunger persists until authentic nourishment is found. I designed this holy discontent as internal navigation system guiding you home to me. Rather than resenting spiritual emptiness, recognize it as invitation to seek filling that actually satisfies, living water for which thirst, once quenched, becomes wellspring of abundance. The creativity that stirs within you, whether expressed through art, music, writing, cooking, building, teaching, or countless other outlets, reflects my nature as creator. When you make something beautiful, useful, or thought-provoking, you participate in divine activity. The satisfaction of bringing order from chaos, meaning from randomness, or beauty from basic elements connects you to my joy in creation. Never dismiss these impulses as frivolous compared to more spiritual pursuits. Creative expression can be profound worship, revealing facets of my character while addressing human needs for beauty and meaning. Your influence extends further than you realize. Like ripples from stone dropped in still pond, your words and actions travel outward, affecting lives beyond your immediate circle. This truth carries both sobering responsibility and tremendous opportunity. You may never fully know on earth how passing interaction or seemingly small kindness altered another's trajectory at crucial juncture. Trust that faithfulness in limited sphere ultimately matters in my eternal economy, where nothing offered in love goes unnoticed or unrewarded. Your consistent character often speaks more eloquently than your carefully crafted words. The enemy of your soul, very real though invisible to physical eyes, employs ancient strategy of undermining confidence in my goodness. From Eden forward, the serpent's primary tactic remains questioning whether I truly want what's best for my children. Recognize these whispered doubts as warfare rather than mere psychological insecurity. When thoughts accuse me of being distant, uncaring, or unfair, identify their source and counter with truth of my revealed character. You deal not with mere flesh and blood opposition, but principalities and powers seeking to separate you from confident rest in my love. There are seasons to advance boldly and seasons to wait patiently for my timing. Discerning which response current circumstances require constitutes significant spiritual wisdom. Sometimes apparent obstacles are divine redirections protecting you from unseen dangers. Other times, they are tests of perseverance revealing depth of conviction. Some doors I permanently close because what lies beyond would ultimately harm you. Others, I temporarily restrict until necessary preparation is complete. Trust my navigation even when the route differs from your preferred path. My guidance comes from perfect perspective, seeing both temporal circumstances and eternal consequences. When you fail, and you will, for perfection awaits completion beyond this life, resist twin temptations of minimizing sin's seriousness or maximizing its power over grace. The cross demonstrates both how grievous transgression is, requiring nothing less than divine sacrifice, and how complete forgiveness extends, holding nothing back from those who receive it. Neither casual dismissal nor crushing condemnation represents accurate response to moral failure. Instead, honest confession opens door to freedom, where genuine repentance meets boundless mercy. In that sacred space, transformation becomes not burdensome requirement, but natural outgrowth of gratitude. The financial resources entrusted to your management reveal much about internal priorities and spiritual condition. Money itself is morally neutral tool that becomes either constructive or destructive based on your relationship with it. Watch carefully what financial choices reveal about what you truly worship. Generosity with possessions reflects trust in my abundant provision rather than scarcity mentality that fearfully hoards. I do not measure value of gifts by amount, but by sacrifice and attitude behind them. Whether managing much or little, faithful stewardship acknowledges that all ultimately belongs to me. When facing important decisions where multiple options seem potentially valid, seek my guidance through converging confirmation, internal peace aligning with scriptural principles, wise counsel, and providential circumstances. While dramatic divine intervention occasionally provides unmistakable direction, more commonly I guide through quieter means, requiring attentive discernment. Develop habit of bringing choices both significant and routine into conversation with me, gradually training spiritual sensitivity to recognize subtle promptings that might otherwise be missed in life's constant noise. The future that concerns you remains safely in my hands. Though you cannot see around corners awaiting you, I have already been where you are going. Your limited perspective naturally produces anxiety about unknown variables beyond your control. Release need to manage outcomes you cannot possibly secure through worry. Forward movement requires appropriate planning but not paralyzing preoccupation with potential problems. Focus attention on present faithfulness while trusting my sovereignty over tomorrow's uncertainties. Remember how previous chapters of apparent disaster became platforms for testimony when viewed through retrospective lens of my redemptive purpose. Your deepest identity transcends all temporary roles and earthly accomplishments. You are not primarily defined by occupation, relationship status, physical appearance, material success, or any other transient characteristic. These aspects color your unique human journey, but constitute mere setting rather than core essence. You are my beloved creation, bearing divine image, invited into eternal relationship that begins now and extends beyond death's threshold. This fundamental identity remains when all other markers fade. Steadfast reality anchoring you through life's inevitable transitions and losses. Root your security in what cannot be taken from you. I am doing more within and around you than your physical senses can perceive. Like farmer who plants seed then continues other work while invisible germination occurs beneath soil, I operate beyond perception, bringing growth while you attend daily responsibilities. Faith sees beyond appearance to underlying reality, where my kingdom advances through apparent setbacks and detours. Cultivate spiritual vision, recognizing my presence in unexpected places, not just magnificent mountain vistas, but hospital rooms, crowded streets and ordinary kitchens. Holy ground exists wherever my presence is acknowledged and my purposes embraced. As you age and physical strength diminishes, remember that spiritual capacity can continue expanding until final heartbeat. While society often dishonors elder years, I view them as potential pinnacle of wisdom, perspective, and spiritual influence. The limitations that frustrate may actually deepen dependence on me, stripping away self-sufficiency that subtly hindered fuller relationship. Previous seasons emphasized doing, later seasons may emphasize being, equally valuable though differently expressed. Your legacy extends far beyond material inheritance to spiritual impact on generations following through consistent character and accumulated wisdom freely shared. Your prayers matter more than you can comprehend from earthly vantage point. When words seem inadequate or faith feels fragile, my spirit intercedes with groanings too deep for language. Nothing offered sincerely goes unheard or unheeded, though answers may arrive differently than expected, or on timelines exceeding human patience. Even brief whispered prayers throughout busy days maintain vital connection that gradually transforms your perspective to align with mine. Speaking situations into my presence doesn't inform me of what I don't know, but positions you to receive what I desire to give. Wisdom, peace, guidance, and strength, precisely calibrated to current need. The Bible you hold contains my love letter to humanity, not merely historical document or rule book, but living message through which I still speak personally to receptive hearts. Approach these pages not as religious obligation, but relationship opportunity, expecting to encounter my character, revealed through narrative, poetry, instruction, and prophetic vision. What appears familiar gains fresh significance when illuminated by my spirit, addressing your specific circumstances. Even difficult passages that challenge modern sensibilities contain wisdom that, properly understood within full scriptural context, brings freedom rather than oppression when applied with love as foundation. I have uniquely gifted you for specific contribution to my kingdom purposes. Your particular combination of talents, experiences, personality, and passion is divine design, not random accident. Never minimize what I've entrusted by unfair comparison with others differently equipped. The body functions properly only when each part fulfills intended role, rather than attempting to duplicate another's function. Faithful stewardship requires both humble acknowledgement of genuine ability and willing development of potential through disciplined effort. What comes naturally often indicates supernatural equipping for service that feels deeply satisfying because it aligns with my creative intent. The world constantly bombards you with messages contradicting your true identity and purpose. Cultural voices promise fulfillment through consumption, status, pleasure, or power, while delivering only temporary satisfaction that creates hunger for more. My kingdom operates on entirely different economy where greatness comes through service. Finding life requires losing it. Strength perfects in weakness, and giving produces greater joy than getting. Resist conformity to patterns that ultimately diminish. rather than enhance humanity. Your countercultural choices may provoke opposition, but also offer compelling alternative to hollow pursuits that leave increasing emptiness despite promising fulfillment. As history moves toward ultimate consummation, maintain balanced perspective between present responsibility and future hope. Neither so heavenly minded that earthly good is neglected, nor so entrenched in temporal concerns that eternal perspective is forgotten. The promise of my return provides both comfort during suffering and motivation for faithful service. This physical world is not disposable stage to be abandoned, but beloved creation awaiting complete renewal. Participate now in restorative work that anticipates future perfection, pursuing justice, extending compassion, creating beauty, and proclaiming truth that sets captives free from destructive patterns. Your awareness of personal inadequacy for challenges facing you actually positions you perfectly for supernatural enabling. Human limitation creates space for divine demonstration when weakness is honestly acknowledged rather than disguised behind self-sufficient facade. I deliberately allow situations exceeding your natural capacity precisely to display my strength, working through yielded vessels. What feels like devastating failure from limited perspective may be necessary preparation for greater effectiveness once pride and self-reliance are properly dethroned. My power manifests most visibly where human ability ends and humble dependence begins. In closing, my beloved child, remember that nothing can separate you from my love. Not your mistakes or missteps, not your doubts or questions, not your weakness or weariness. My commitment to you remains steadfast through highest victory and lowest valley. I began good work within you and will faithfully complete it. Though you may feel forgotten in difficult seasons, I am closer than your next breath, more committed than your most loyal friend, more aware of your needs than you are yourself. The story I am writing through your life contains chapters still unread, beauty yet unrevealed, purpose still unfolding. When darkness seems overwhelming, remember that dawn always follows night. When burden seems unbearable, remember my promise to sustain. When path ahead appears unclear, remember my commitment to guide. I have called you by name. You are mine. Before foundation of earth was laid, I set my affection upon you. Nothing takes me by surprise. No circumstance exceeds my redemptive capacity. No enemy prevails against my protection. Rest in this unshakable truth. You are deeply, completely, eternally loved by the one who breathed stars into existence and counts every hair upon your head. Come to me now. Bring your weariness and find rest. Bring your confusion and receive wisdom. Bring your brokenness and experience healing. Bring your sin and accept forgiveness. My arms remain open. My invitation stands unchanged since first whispered to your heart. Let me renew your spirit, restore your joy, rekindle your passion, and realign your perspective. In my presence, fear dissolves, anxiety subsides, and peace that surpasses understanding guards heart and mind. I am the beginning of your story and its glorious conclusion, Alpha and Omega, first and last, and every moment between belongs within my eternal embrace. I have loved you with everlasting love. I will continue loving you forever.
In the silence of my darkest night, when tears fall and no one's in sight, you count each one, hold them close to you. When doubts circle like restless birds, you hear questions in my unspoken words. Still your love remains steadfast and true. You see me, you know me. Before mountains rose, you dreamed of me. Your love never wavers, never fades. In the storm or sunshine, you remain. My name written on your hands, my heart safely held in your perfect plan. chosen, royal, your own. The burdens I carry were meant for me. You offer rest where my soul can breathe. In your presence I am never alone. You see me, you know me. Before mountains rose, you dreamed of me. Your love never wavers, never fades. In the storm or sunshine you remain. My name written on your hands, my heart safely held in your perfect plan. Like an eagle stirring its nest, you build my faith through every test. The potter's hands with perfect love, shaping a vessel